Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a new podcast or new video series that we're starting. I'm here with Meridith Maahs. So excited to be doing this with you, Meridith. And especially since we're about a year out in April, we're recording this in March of 2024. It was in April of 2023 when Morgan Markwald passed to the next world, and the work that she and I had been doing with Pallas Athena uh, sort of halted for a bit of time. And then I started talking to Meredith, and she's so passionate about this. I was like, you're the person to help me bring this forward. And so that we can have a deeper understanding of how we work with this archetypal energy. And I'm going to turn this over to Meredith in a moment. But one of the things that's really fascinating about the timing of us doing this video now is Pallas Athena is about to start a new cycle. And I'll share more about that in a little bit, but we'll just give you a little bit of background about Pallas Athena. Many of you may already know, but it doesn't hurt to hear it again. I'm all about the repetition these days. So Meredith, tell us what you have to share.
Oh, well, I have been on a journey with the goddesses, looking at the myths and and retelling them, and knowing that we're in new times, and our goddess archetypes are speaking to us in new ways, and and that is something that we are feeling. We can't quite put our finger on it, but these archetypes are important. So you know, I have Athena in my first house, and I have a lot of Pisces and Aquarian energy, yes, but and a Cancer moon. So a lot of water, a lot of intuitive, a lot of that energy. And I rejected my I had a love hate relationship with Athena for a long time. Whenever I took a test, she'd be the lowest score. And as the older I've gotten and the more work I've done, she's right up there with my Persephone. She's right up there with my Artemis. She's right up there now. And the work that I've been doing, my own personal work, um, I just got so excited about what would it be like if this really powerful archetype, Athena's archetype, um, stepped out of the dominant culture, and we could help this archetype, find a way to have a new voice and a new way to be creative and a new way to be the warrior and a new way to embrace and protect the community. And when I thought about that, um, I went to the Medusa myth, and I thought about Athena with Perseus as her henchman, so to speak, and um, and I really got lost there for a while. What First I was just so, cut her head off and all that, and then
So
I went a little
could
bit.
you just share a little bit about that story as it
Sure.
was told? Because I know we're going to be retelling it in a new way, but people need to understand the old story so they can really appreciate the new one.
Okay, well, um, Athena had her temples, of course, and Medusa was a priestess in her temple, a sister. Um, there's some evidence that they had similar origins, came from similar parts of the world, the goddess culture, and Medusa was a very devout priestess in Athena's temple. And as the story goes, she was worshiping in the morning, and Medusa was very beautiful and very, Piscean, maybe, just very gave herself to the mysteries of the priestess. And she was worshiping at dawn, and she was raped by Poseidon. He saw her beauty. According to the myth, she was very beautiful, and her hair was her crowning beauty. And he saw her and raped her in Athena's temple in the dawn. And Athena, coming down to do her prayers, saw this happening. And punished Medusa, and banished her and sent her away and sent her out and took her beauty away and made her hair snakes and made her eyes would kill whatever man that looked at her beauty or looked at her. She wasn't beautiful anymore. And so she became this monster. Medusa became a monster. So that's the old telling. And then, of course, the monster was wreaking havoc, and Athena had to get Perseus to come and kill her. And then she was so powerful that she would, even with that, you'd have to shield herself from her eyes. So that's the old
When you're
story.
doing this, you're holding
Her
Medusa's
head.
head.
Medusa's
And
head.
if somebody looked her directly in the eye, they'd turn to stone.
Yes.
That was that.
Yes. So she had to be stopped. So that's why Athena sent Perseus. The power of her power, the power of that intuitive, all of that power was even more. It couldn't be. It was still powerful in that in her form that Athena had placed her in, cursed her, and sent her on an island. That's another thing. Sent her away off by herself.
And then after Medusa's dead and gone, more or less, and also when Perseus kills her and Athena says, so just look at her through your shield and then, take off her head, that kind of thing. And the blood that goes into the ocean becomes Pegasus, the winged horse. Yeah. So,
Medusa's son bursts the, yes.
yeah.
She bursts something from her intuitive, from herself comes this higher learning, this symbol of shooting for the stars, right? This higher form. Yes, yeah. Connected with something other than the city-state.
Yeah. And then to kind of wrap it all up and just say that Athena then puts Medusa on her shield, her head on her shield. So she doesn't completely get rid of her, but she makes it so that Medusa is not a factor anymore. And so it's basically cutting away the intuitive side and going more into the rational, logical aspect of the dominator culture we've been living in for so long.
Yeah, and Kaylin mentioned earlier, and we were talking, and I think I just love this image, Kaylin, that Medusa on Athena's shield is Medusa. That's a way for her to acknowledge that her sister is part of her, but she keeps that part of her away. So Medusa is the intuitive. Medusa is that part, the connected with the other realms. And so she knows she's her sister, but she has to keep that outside of her. The shield is a outside of her. It's not in, it's out. And
Yeah,
what we've been exploring is that this is one of the Athena wounds. And what we've been exploring is, healing that wound, healing that, how amazing could this energy, when you think about it, Athena represents, the goddess culture was eradicated. Athena represents the woman who has found a way to have that the female perspective, her version, in the forefront and honored. So only honoring the mind, but still. And she did have temples. She did keep the temples. So when I think about this work that we want to explore, I think about healing the mother wound. Athena has the mother wound. She has the sister wound. She's disconnected from her sexuality. She's asexual. So she's connected from her magic, the community of other women, and where she came from. So to heal that, I mean, that's core. So here we have an Athena, you mentioned this too, Athena, Kaylin, do you want to speak to what you talked about? We were talking about Athena woman now as the dominant culture is crumbling and all the rules, nothing's working anymore. Why we felt such a heart compassion for this energy and why it might be a good time to assist that um, bringing together the separate parts. But you were talking about her fear, what that's like.
Well, so yes, because the next Venus, or I'm sorry, not Venus. I may have Venus on the brain. Pallas Athena cycle is going to be in Scorpio, and so the opportunity to face the fears. But before we go there, it seems like it might be good to just kind of say where we're at currently. And when Morgan and I did the first video, and we'll put the videos in the show notes. So if you want to go back and look and see what was said, then there were 3 videos that we did before she left this world. And it was in the Cancer cycle that started. And I think it was it went retrograde in the end of November. And interestingly, Venus, Pallas Athena, when she went retrograde, was opposite Pluto, which is with kind of like a precursor for the cycle that was to follow. It's like kind of mind blowing to think about. And then when she was opposite the sun, and that was probably, I think it was late December, early January, I don't remember the exact date on that, that she began the new cycle in the sign of Cancer. So bringing that warrior energy, that intense, more mental energy of Athena that has been on the world stage for such a long time into the heart, into the empathy and the compassion and the way of how do we start to heal and create a safe space for each of us to be who we are and not have to be something that we're being told is who we should be. So that's been going on since early 2023, late 2022, early 2023. And we're coming into the final integration phase of that. We are in the final integration phase by March 29th, when Pallas Athena goes retrograde. So here's something to know about retrogrades. Every retrograde is when that planet or asteroid is close to the Earth. So it has its biggest impact. And then it passes close to the Earth, and then it will make an opposition to the sun. Now, Mercury and Venus are the 2 exceptions to that because they conjunct the sun when they're retrograde, but they're also close to the Earth. So so basically what it's representing is a time of integration and completion of the previous cycle, but it's also a time of preparation for the cycle that will be coming. So on March 29th, Pallas Athena goes retrograde at 8 degrees and 35 minutes of Sagittarius. And that happens to be in an area of the sky that's conjunct the heart of the scorpion or the dragon or the serpent, depending on what culture you can look at it, in any of those ways. But we are in the year of the dragon, so I kind of like the dragon imagery. The heart of the dragon, the heart of the serpent, the heart of the scorpion, the heart energy. And that's where Pallas Athena is going retrograde. And that means she's hanging out with that star for quite a long time, not just making within a few days, making a pass, with more like a few weeks, she's making that pass by this star. And it's one of the magical stars of the ancient alchemists. So a powerful way of beginning this retrograde to begin this integration from the place of the heart.
Yes. And
So,
when you were talking about Cancer, coming from that, so I'm thinking of it in terms of our bodies, our sacral, our chakra systems. Cancer coming from exploring that womb space in Cancer, and then in Scorpio moving into the sacral and moving into and all that entails. So Athena is having a journey of exploring her womb space, her creativity, her magic, her power, embodied, deep, feelings, and bringing all and integrating all that. This alchemy of alchemical healing is just holds such potential,
You know,
and
oh,
stay there for a while
yeah.
and really be in that scorpionic dark place.
One of the things about the Cancer place is it's often seen as the Divine Mother, could also include the Divine Father. And Pallas Athena is birthed out of Zeus's head. And the reason she's birthed out of Zeus's head is because Metis, who's her mother, is swallowed by Zeus because he he doesn't want to have any children by her or something. Anyway, the thing he doesn't know, I think there was a prophecy that a child that she would give birth to would somehow maybe unseat him or, test his power or that kind of thing. So he swallows her whole, not knowing she's already pregnant. And so that's why Athena is birthed out of his head. And it's representative of a time when we're coming into a more rational, logical way of being rather than and really getting away from the intuitive aspect. So Pallas Athena does not have a mother. She has a father, but not a mother. Which is kind of interesting. And so this Cancer cycle maybe has been a way for her to reclaim how she can mother herself. How can she nurture herself? How does she take care of who she is? And so then she can do a better job of that for others. So that's what we're going to be integrating and completing as we have this retrograde cycle. And it won't be till May 19th when we start the new cycle of Pallas Athena in Scorpio. And that's part of the place of feeling the feelings, because this is something Athena, I mean, the Cancer cycle, she's been asked to do that. And then in the Scorpio cycle, she'll be asked to do that as well. This is not comfortable territory for her. This is pretty new territory. In Cancer, she was learning to be empathic to others as well as herself. And in Scorpio, it's like really about her feelings and what scares her. Like, what does she not want to feel? What has she been avoiding? What is it that feels like it could be disempowering? If I really felt that feeling, maybe I'd just become a mess. Maybe I wouldn't be effective anymore. Maybe I wouldn't have the ability because I'd just dissolve into a mess. And that's actually the opposite of what happens when we feel and we're willing to feel and willing to face those feelings and embrace those feelings and embody those feelings and really feel them, because that's where the alchemy takes place, as Meredith was talking about. So it's pretty exciting. So May 19th is when the new cycle will begin. And there's so many cool things around that for us to talk about, but we might save that for a later video to keep you interested. But it is the days of no shadows. It is connected to the Pleiades. It is a powerful timing. And it also is around the time that Uranus and Jupiter are still pretty close, conjuncted in Taurus on April 20th. So many amazing things are happening. And basically it's like Pallas Athena saying, it's time, it's time, it's time.
We are so excited to share some of this information with you, the astrological information, the spiritual alchemical information. I mean, just the dots, the things that are lining up. I mean, oh my gosh, we're so excited. We can't wait to share more.
Yes. So please let us know what you think of this, and we'll be back with more. And be sure to check out the show notes for additional information. And I mean, magic is happening. It is unfolding in ways that maybe we hadn't even realized. And I know for me, I'm so excited. And I'm so excited to do this with you, Meredith. Thank you for being here.
Oh yeah, me too. Thank you, Kaylin. It's fun and exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so bye, everybody.
bye.